The Lego Ninjago set that I wanted so bad and did not get was the Lego Ninjago Epic Dragon Battle. It was
loser! I had that. I had both
suck.
of them. I had the old one and the re-release.
Oh my gosh. You had two?
Hello and welcome to the Nerdiest Podcast, the podcast where nerds talk about nerdy thing. I'm your host, Nick Barrett, and I'm joined here with my co-host, Mr. Jackson Glass. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. I have eaten a cinnamon raisin bagel with cream cheese every morning for the last 4 days. And
do you know what I've eaten today? All I've had today is 3 waffles and a bag of candy because I went to the movies today.
Okay. What kind of candy? What kind of candy?
It's organic Skittles.
What?
And they actually weren't that bad.
I didn't realize you were California.
Listen, hey, hold on a second. California is my least favorite state. Don't compare me to Californians. If you're listening in California, we love you. You're doing great. You're trying your best in the worst situation, and that's okay. That's all we expect from you. Aren't we all? Yes. So, and for anybody wondering, I went and saw Free Guy, okay?
I was wondering, so.
Quick tangent. Fabulous movie. Go see it. It's great. It's a really good video game movie and also just a really good movie. So please go see it. It was fantastic. I don't want to say anything else because we're not here to talk about Free Guy.
No.
We're here to talk about different movies.
And what movies would those
today
be?
We're talking about movies that were built from the ground up. Right? Now follow my bit here.
Okay, I will.
These movies were built. They were constructed with instructions. But they're about not following the instructions. Don't you think that's a little weird? So what movies are we talking about today? We, ladies and gentlemen, today are going to be talking about Phil Lord and Chris Miller's greatest work, the Lego Movie and the Lego Movie 2, and the Batman and Ninjago movie, and all these other things. We're talking about Lego media today because, listen, I don't hear people talk about the Lego movie enough. And maybe that's because it's like an 8-year-old movie, almost 10. Man, do I feel old.
Boomer.
And also, like, the second movie didn't really get talked about, and nobody talks about the spin-off movies. It's like the Lego movie exists in its own vacuum, and then all of the other Lego movies just kind of float about in the space outside that vacuum. So that's what we're talking about. We also are going to dip into a little bit of Ninjago because it's Lego's most popular show. Maybe a couple of the other shows.
We know how you like those Ninjagos. A wink.
Wink, wink. You know, Ninjago. So great. Wink, wink.
Wink.
So yeah. And also Lego games because you can't talk Lego media without Lego games. So,
ladies and gentlemen, this is Lego Media. I
don't know what he's doing.
That's how we start the episode.
In his own universe over there. So I want to start this off.
Yes.
Well, actually, no. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say the exact same thing that you were saying. So.
Oh, okay.
Because we have.
Darn this Discord lag.
Notes. Point.
Oh great, I'm turning into you. So
isn't it great?
So we're just gonna jump in
when your friends start doing things that you do all the time and you just feel very powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is okay. So as we get started here, I want to ask you and just say, so you've seen all of the Lego movies, right?
Meaning the Lego movie, the Lego Movie 2, the Lego Batman movie, and the Lego Ninjago movie.
Yes, those are only the 4 Lego movies in existence.
Those are the
People
movies.
are going to come at me and say, but what about the best Lego movies? The Adventures of Clutch Powers. I hear you. I see you. And I understand that you want Clutch Powers representation, but I'm here to tell you We're not here to talk about Clutch Powers because I've never seen it.
I used to love Clutch Powers. I was going to mention Clutch Powers, but I thought it was too underground. But no, thank you for bringing this up. Clutch Powers was rather underrated. I have it on DVD. I'm pretty sure I could find it, but I don't want to get up.
Wait, you have it on DVD?
Yeah, it's here somewhere. I don't know. I'm not.
Did you know that? Which, hey, now hold on. Clutch Powers is actually not as underground as you think.
Oh.
Did you know that Clutch Powers was in the 11th season of Ninjago?
What?
Yes, as a cameo character.
The crossover event of the season, and I never knew?
Yes. Ninjago's weird like that because they also did a crossover with Chima at some point. But we'll get there. Ninjago's later on. We're coming back to it.
The multiverse is open.
Now that I know that you've seen all the Lego movies, give me a general rundown of your thoughts on each one of them.
So, the Lego movie is in my top movies of all time. It's probably one of the movies I've seen the most because it's very charming. It has an incredible cast of voice actors. It actually has a great story. It's very funny and has a very high rewatchability. So I've watched that movie, has to have been at least 5 or 6 times in my lifetime, which sounds like rookie numbers to some people, but you think about all the times you watch a movie, that's a lot. The Lego movie too, I've only seen it once. I saw it in theaters. I was a little underwhelmed. I feel like the music wasn't... I feel like this... I don't think this is a hot take or not. I have no idea. But I think they thought the music was better than it was. And so they were, kind of pushing into the, oh, this song's gonna get stuck in your head. And then I was like, but it didn't, though. And I'm like, it's just kind of failed for me. I thought it did good things for the characters. The actors were really good in it. The story was fine. It just didn't hit as hard as the first one. I felt like it was a little more corporate when the first one was screw corporate.
Fair.
What's thoughts on that? What?
So, so the first Lego movie for me was a really good, I thought it was going to be super cheesy and I was going to end up hating it.
Yeah.
But no, it actually had the reverse effect. It was the only thing I could talk about for months. I watched it over and over and over and over again. It coming out on DVD in June of 2014 was the biggest thing for 12-year-old me because I could watch it over and over and over again without having to say, Mom, can we go to the movies again?
Yep.
So I would sit there and play with my Legos and watch the movie on repeat. It is one of the only movies I can actually repeat line for line, kind of like Megan with Cars, but it's me with the Lego movie.
That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut. Anyone that understands the Cars episode. Well, no, it was ranking Pixar movies. That was a long time ago. So you're OG if you remember that.
That's true. You were Logo 4 ago. You're a long logo away.
That's a self-roast because we are so indecisive on a logo, we keep changing it.
Got him.
Got him. Take that, me.
It's okay. We do it in the sake of improvement. So the Lego Movie 2 is an interesting case because it kept getting delayed. And I remember, the way the first movie ends, everybody was like, so when's the Lego Movie 2? And it got confirmed immediately after. And then it kept getting pushed back. And it eventually got pushed back all the way to 2019. And they stuck there. And I was super excited. And they released the first trailer on the day that my great-grandmother died. So that was the only good thing that happened that day.
What?
And you'd think, oh, that's the only bad thing that would be related to this movie. You would think that, right? So I'm getting all excited. The sets come out. They release another trailer. I'm getting excited. And I had class the day the movie came out. It was a Thursday. I wanted to go see the Thursday afternoon, evening showing because I was just that excited. And I was like, hey, girlfriend at the time, want to come see the Lego Movie 2 with me? Because, your brothers are into Lego. You helped me build a Lego set once. And, it would be a great date. My mom and my sister will be there because I can't drive, but it'll be a great date.
How you
so
know
we
you're
go, we
dating
watch
too
the movie. Yep. We went, the movie was great, fantastic. And of course, that night I get home, she breaks up with me. Had nothing to do with the Lego Movie 2. It was coming anyway. But it was just really unfortunate. So I ended up seeing the Lego Movie 2 3 more times because I wanted to have triple the good experiences as I did with the bad experience. So the song that did in fact get stuck in my head got stuck in my head because I saw it 4 times. The movie itself, great movie.
Really?
For me personally, I think it's on the same level as the first one because it's more of a deep cut for me because it's all about like the brother and sister not getting along, and that hit way too hard for me because it was basically like they took my life and they just made a movie about it, and that hit really hard. So I thought it was really good.
You see,
how do you feel?
I actually like my siblings, so I guess it just didn't hit as hard.
Wow, that's cringe. Imagine liking your siblings.
Siri keeps turning on, and I'm frustrated by it. So the Lego Batman movie, kind of forgotten about. I feel like not a lot of people like really talk about it because like Will Arnett was Batman in the Lego movie, and now he's hosting Lego Masters, which I have not watched, but I've heard is really good. And then so I can also only see him as his character from Arrested Development, which is really funny.
It's so true.
It's like, I'm Batman. It's like, no, you're Job. But
nope, you're Job.
The Lego Batman movie is the best Batman movie there is. And I'm coming out and saying that. You know why it's the best one?
Okay.
Now hold on. Let me explain. It's the best one because it's the only one I've seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not fair. You can't say that.
Lego
it's the
Batman
only one
is
you've
the
seen.
best Batman. Definitive. You can't fight me on this because you know I'm right.
Hold on. What I'm gonna say is I don't totally disagree. I think the Lego Batman movie is very seldom forgotten about and very underrated. People don't talk about it enough. It was a hilarious movie. It was... What am I thinking about? There's like a movie that made fun of all the other movies. That's basically what the Lego Batman movie is. Yeah. It's the spoof of...
itself.
All the other Batman movies.
You see, it was a spoof of itself. And that's why it was so good.
Right. It made fun of all the other Batman tropes and was really just like... It was also, kind of funny, like, coming of age, if you will, film. And I think... Yes, if you take out the Dark Knight trilogy, it is the best Batman movie we've ever gotten.
Which I will watch soon.
If you take out the Dark Knight trilogy.
I will watch soon. Don't come after me. It's on my watch list. I will see it soon. Lego Batman also has a killer soundtrack. I see the vinyl at the store all the time, and I've considered getting it for kicks, for just getting the Lego Batman soundtrack on vinyl, and then... I don't know. It's just...
That seems like a really odd movie to have a vinyl soundtrack for.
It's actually kind of fire. Like the soundtrack is. If you look into
I don't disagree. The soundtrack is fire, but like it just seems like a weird movie to get a vinyl album.
Welcome back to my house. Allow me to put a record on.
It's the Lego Batman movie soundtrack.
Batman. You see.
All right.
You see. It's called having class.
Welcome to my house, darling. You've never been here before. We're back on our first date. Allow me to put on a track. It's the Lego Batman.
The Lego Batman movie. And she says, wow.
Now, if you want to talk about a movie that doesn't have class... Yeah, if you want to talk about something that doesn't have class, it's called the Lego Ninjago movie. I hate to dunk on this because... I wanted so much better from this movie. I really did. And it just wasn't... Oh, man. I hate to say it, but it just wasn't good. Like, it had so much potential. The show is so good. Well, actually, hold on. The first 10 seasons of the show are so good. And there was so much potential riding on this movie being good. It was going to be like the Ninjago fans, which was kind of like a niche community in and of itself, was finally going to get our big movie. And then it
did not deliver. You see, the Lego Ninjago movie also tried to play on the like mixed live action where they're like, Jackie Chan is here and he's telling the story to a kid in a china shop. And that was cool, but what was so cool about the Lego movie was it was a twist. that they were just being like Legos being played with. When they opened with it, it just like ruined your whole perspective for the rest of the story. Because you say, oh, this is just Jackie Chan telling a story. I love Jackie Chan. He's one of the greatest actors ever, and a martial arts master, and he did good in the movie. It's just the writing wasn't there, and with all the people that saw it were fans of the show, and it was so disconnected from the show that it was just like no one could see them as two separate things. They had to be together. And fun fact, Fred Armisen plays a voice in that movie, and I think he deserves better.
Yep. He plays Cole, which was really exciting. I agree. The movie was really disconnected from the show, which I never understood why.
Yeah.
Because I understand they were like, okay, people are going to see the Lego movie, and it's going to be like, okay, so does this take place in the Lego movie universe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Question
but
mark?
It's not Ninjago, but it's the same characters, but you don't have, it's a different background. It was a whole thing. And I never understood why it couldn't have just been a show spin-off. Because in the Ninjago show, they've made it very abundantly clear that there is a multiverse. They have all the different realms. And you could easily say the Lego movie is its own realm. Easy. Done. Explained.
Yeah.
Now we have a spin-off show. You're appeasing the fans, and you're also all these other people don't have to have a super huge knowledge of the show. Which, of course, after the movie came out, there was a lot of controversy with the show because they changed all of the designs to match the movie because they expected the movie to do a lot better than it did. And they were like, oh, we have all these new fans coming in from the movie, so we're going to change it so it looks like the movie, which it looks fine. It's fine.
It's not a design thing,
Lloyd
though.
finally got a male voice actor, which nothing against Jillian Michaels, who was voicing him before. She was doing great.
Jillian Michaels?
Yeah.
Wait, was it?
She voiced Lloyd in seasons 1 through 6,
the trainer Jillian
7.
Michaels?
I don't know.
Hold on.
Yeah, Google it.
Hold on.
She did great, but once they replaced his voice, he sounded like a much better character. He sounded more mature. And, I think it definitely did good things for the show. But the movie, and another problem with the movie is they did with the Ninjago movie what Lucasfilm did with Solo in The Last Jedi, is they put them too close. Because the Lego Batman movie came out in February, and the Ninjago movie came out in September. When in reality, also, I heard a lot of, going arounds that the Ninjago movie was supposed to come out later. It was supposed to come out in 2018 instead of 2017, but Lego was like, the sets are done, and we need the movie done now. To come out now.
Pushed it. It did so it was half baked.
So it got slid way up.
So it was half baked. Also,
yeah, they were supposed to be doing a yearly February release with Batman in 2017, Ninjago in 2018, and then the Lego Movie 2 in 2019 every February for 3 years, and that didn't happen, and it kind of screwed the whole movie.
It did,
which sucks.
It's a different Jillian Michaels. I was thinking Jillian Michaels, former trainer on The Biggest Loser. It's a different.
Yeah,
Jillian
I don't
Michaels.
think those.
Also, Dave Franco.
Yeah, I didn't think those two had anything
Lloyd.
in common.
Putting Dave Franco in the Lego Ninjago, it didn't work. I'm not a fan of the
And
Lego
Justin
Ninjago
Theroux
movie.
was Garmadon.
Yeah, and it was everything was. It was super sad. It wasn't as charming as the other ones, and it just wasn't as funny. I don't understand.
It was just daddy issues for the third time.
Yeah,
and that was the problem. Was the Lego Movie 1 was about daddy issues. The Lego Batman movie was about daddy issues. The Lego Ninjago movie was about daddy issues. So 3 strikes, you're out. The third one didn't work.
Get out of there.
In the Ninjago show, the daddy issues were never this bad, which is why it didn't connect with fans of the show, because they were Lloyd was never this upset about it. He was upset, but he always it was different.
It was very different.
Not having that connection was ugh.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started. There were 10 credited screenwriters on the Ninjago movie, which is way too many brains contributing to one
10.
congruent story, which is why the story is so bad.
Huh. Wow. So now that we're done crapping on the Lego movie or the Ninjago movie, here's a fascinating question. I'm fascinated by this question. Is it time for Ninjago to end? Because what season are they on now?
16.
16.
Wait, no, 15. Okay. So first of all, I want to speak directly to Cartoon Network right now. I want to speak directly to you. You guys suck, by the way. I just want to be honest with you. You guys suck because you have been misairing Ninjago for years. Like, Lego has a very set release schedule for their Ninjago sets. It's always there's a wave in January or March, like either January or March, and then there's one in August, September. And those are supposed to coincide with new seasons of the show coming out. But Cartoon Network doesn't get paid enough or care enough to air the show at the time the show is supposed to come out. But only in the US do they not care. Because I remember way back in 2016 when season 6 came out, and I've been doing this ever since, the show aired in a completely different language, in a completely different country, on time, when it was supposed to. On Cartoon Network, in a different country. So people would like take that, throw it on YouTube, and throw subtitles on it. I was watching anime before I was watching anime, okay? So I was all caught up. But then there would be people like Megan who didn't want to watch it on YouTube and would just wait for Netflix to pick it up way too late. So
Yeah.
Cartoon Network, you suck, and you need to do better. Because, like, I've already been spoiled on how season 15 ends, and the show is nowhere near airing in the US. Like, the sets are out, it's nowhere near airing, and it's just a mess.
There's also something to say for their audience and how their audience grew up and how they started pushing it towards a new generation, and how they said, oh, so they were competing with, they're trying to apply their marketing tactics to two audiences: their older audience, you, that won't like watched it from season 1, and their new audience that has been watching since like season, I don't know, 8. And they're working so hard to satisfy audience A and audience B that they're just can't, and it's just a disaster.
Yeah.
And so the new Ninjago looks more like standard children's programming, when back in the day it used to be a super creative, well character driven show. Is this just my projection of it because I was 8? Maybe, I don't know. I feel like it was actually really good, but I can't say. Like, I don't know.
Ninjago for me always, like, it was my number one favorite show for a long time. It surpassed the Clone Wars for a long time.
What?
Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? Because I've talked about how much I love the Clone Wars. We did 2 episodes on it if you want to go back and watch.
Don't watch. I'm not on those episodes.
But Ninjago, from seasons 1 to 10, had so much heart. Like, it was character development left and right. It was following up on relationships. It was digging into these characters. Why are they like this? It was like it was a kids show, but not a kids show. And I saw this great concept, or not concept, but like a question on TikTok of like, is the reason people watch anime now is because cartoons talk down to them. Yeah. And Ninjago never did that. Ninjago never talked down to you. They would occasionally explain something if it was kind of like super complicated, but they wouldn't even really do recaps aside of the previously on Ninjago.
Ninjago. Oh my gosh. That's
part of what made the show so good was that they never talked down to you. It was always like, kids are elite. Kids are smarter than you give them credit for. And that's something people forget a lot. And this is going to sound really harsh. And I don't want to sound like I'm throwing shade or anything, because I know everyone who still works on Ninjago is doing their best with what they're given. But the show should have ended after season 10. And let me explain why. Because Ninjago was a show idea pitched by the Hegman brothers way back in like 2011. And Lego picked it up. They were like, it's fine, do your 4 pilot episodes. And then it blew up. And then after season 2, it was supposed to end there. And everyone who watched it was like, whoa, wait, you're done? Like, that's it? Like, and it was really conclusive too. Like, Lloyd fought the Overlord, and it was all like we were done, and it was complete character resolution, all that. And then they did Chima, or not the Hagmans, but like Chima came out next, and it was like, no, we want Ninjago back. So they brought Ninjago back, and it was good. Like, I was actually satisfied with how they brought it back. It wasn't like one of those like, ooh, we have no plot threads to bring back here. It made sense. So it went on and on and on, and then after season 7, the Hagmans announced that they were moving on because they've been doing Ninjago for like almost 10 years now. So they were like, we're gonna do this 3-part season, and they started with Sons of Garmadon, and then Hunted, and then March of the Oni, which was like their little
like
trilogy
the
before
final,
they left.
Where it was like the huzzah, this is the end.
And it was so good. It is like peak Ninjago. Like, every single episode was a banger. Like, there was no filler. There was no downtime. Every single episode was a banger. The end of season 8 left you on a cliffhanger to wait for season 9, which most seasons didn't do. They were always like, all right, we beat the bad guy and we wrapped it up. You know, that very formulaic type thing. Nope. Cliffhanger. Your main ninja are gone. Garmadon wins. That is the end of this season. And then you get to the end of season 9, it's like, we beat the bad guy, yeah, but there's more bad guys out there. They're coming for you. And then season 10, which, the perfect place to end, because Jay and Nia finally get married. Or what the equivalent of Ninjago married is. And then they beat the bad guys, and it's all fine. And then it's all good. And that's where it can end. Perfect ending. And then they switched animation styles, they switched writers, and they were like, all right, we're going more formulaic, 11-minute episodes, and we're going to do 22 of them, because we still need to meet our normal episode number count, but it's going to be double, because they're only 11 minutes. And the first season...
Don't like that.
The first season of that wasn't bad. I haven't, which, to clarify, I have not watched any further than the ice one. I don't remember what it was called. It's like Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu, the Ice Realm or whatever. I haven't watched any further past that, but I kind of generally know what happens, because there's like, then they go into a video game again, and then they go to like this mystery like place in the clouds where Cole finally gets the character development that he's been waiting for. Also, just want to take a moment of silence. Rest in peace, Kirby Morrow.
Yeah.
He did great work as Cole. We're gonna miss him. It won't be the same without him. And quite honestly, I think they should stop here, because they don't have anything else recorded by him. So I think they should just stop.
It's just, I noticed by like seeing clips online, and like I have younger siblings that'll watch the newer seasons. I noticed how many plot lines are just straight up reused. Like, all of this stuff about, like, Cole's parents that they're adding. And I'm like, guys, I watched season 3, and the whole Cole's parents plotline was resolved. What are you doing in season 12 trying to revamp this? I'm like, guys. And then the whole, like, Zane's a robot. And that was, like, a core memory of mine from one of those episodes. It's like, oh my gosh, Zane's a robot. Do they accept him for who he is? And now it's like... it's not even a thing. Like, he's just like another guy. And I'm like, they've gone into video games like 3 times now, and it's just like, there's nothing creative about this anymore.
And I do want to say, I got spoiled about the end of season 15. And I think I texted you about this, because I debated on making a video on the Lego Maniacs about it. Ninjago needs to stop. And let me tell you why. Because now they're just ruining stuff. Because at the end of season 15, which is apparently like Nia's whole season, or like season, I don't know.
We've had Nia seasons
That's not a season.
Before! What about the whole thing
season
of her training?
6 and 7 were both Nia seasons. What are you talking about?
What about her training to be like the water ninja? And like that was a big thing where like Wu was training her for her full potential. And what happened to that?
Okay, Seasons
brain is
5, 6,
expanding.
and 7 are all Nia seasons, and you can't tell me otherwise. Season 5 is when she becomes a water ninja. Season 6 is all about her and Jay. And listen, they're the only ones who remember the season because they go back and they retcon the entire season at the end. They're the only ones who remember. So, like, that's a Jay and Nia season right there. And then season 7 is all about Kai and Nia finding their parents, which makes it another Jay and Nia, or not Jay and Nia, Nia season. And it's like, why do we need to touch her again? But it gets worse because now she's like, I don't know, she becomes the water and then just leaves and like dies. Because at the end of the episode, they have like a whole funeral for like her passing on. And it's like, why? Jay and Nia finally get together and you rip them apart like that? Like, you can't. And there's a whole scene where Jay is like on the rooftop with her and he's like, no, you're coming back, right? Like, they actually do the exchange. And she's like, I am the sea now. I don't know who you are. I'm going to be with the ocean now. And then Kai is just like, well, guess my sister is gone.
Rip.
And Jay is like actually upset because he's like, well, guess my wife is gone. And she's just gone.
No.
For no reason. And it's not even like she ever felt like she was suffocated, which maybe she did. I haven't watched the full season. But it was never shown in her character that she was unhappy with where she was at.
And I remember when Zane died. I say that with air quotes because he came back in the next season. But he had to sacrifice
He was
himself.
a robot. We all knew it was happening.
If we're honest, Nia's probably coming back in some super corny, cheesy multiverse way. But
Of course.
I remember Zane died. Air quote, Zane died. And I cried in that episode. And my whole family cried in that episode. And it was...
Me too.
It was an emotional roller coaster. And, like, he sacrificed himself. And it was a big thing. And, like, it's okay to kill your characters. Like, that's a normal thing to do. That's an okay thing to do. But don't just be like... I'ma be one with the sea. Moana, make way, make way. Goodbye, everyone.
Another thing I just noticed until now, the character sacrifices never stopped after Zane. Because season 3 was Zane, season 4 was Garmadon, season 5 was oh crap, who died in season 5? It was Moro. Moro died in season 5 for the grand sacrifice.
Oh my gosh.
Season 6, Nia died, and then they just retconned everything, which is fine.
Rip.
And then season 7, Wu is lost in time. Season 8, Garmadon comes back. Whoa, nobody died that time.
What?
Season 9, nobody died. Well, no. I'm sorry. I forgot the biggest Ninjago death. Harumi gets crushed by a building. Like, the Hegmans were not holding back when they were like, yep, crushed by a building.
Rip.
She's dead. She's gone.
Rip.
which, you know, Lloyd almost had a girlfriend. Almost. Their relationship, so wholesome until she was not.
Until she
who
was
said she was.
crushed by a building.
Boom!
It's flat.
Got him!
Got him.
So, yeah. Which, in saying that Ninjago does need to end, a point I wrote down here, is Lego just, like, continuing Ninjago and not letting them finish the show because the franchise, like, the sets and the theme is selling so well?
Mm-hmm.
I think that really has a part to play in it because it's not the first time they've done it.
No.
And I know everybody's like, Lego is this great company for kids and toys, and no, they're carrying on themes for far too long and not investing in anything new.
There's also the problem of they have yet to have a success like Ninjago. They have yet to make another show that was as good. So why would they stop the money? Like, they need... If they won't stop Ninjago until they have, like, a replacement. And so Chima failed. Where were the other cartoons? Clutch Powers wasn't huge. Nexo Knights failed. I
was so invested in Nexo Knights
failed.
too.
Air quote, failed. I think they just kind of stopped. Like, I feel like it was rather popular.
Yeah, it just stopped. Like, it was canceled.
Stopped. Like, I don't understand. Hashtag cancel. I do remember... I'll have to find the band name. There was a band that did a music video for Nexo Knights, and that song was such a bop, and I burned it on a CD illegally.
I know what you're talking about.
I burned it on a CD illegally. I literally screen recorded it off the Lego website and put it on a CD so I could listen to it at night.
Hands up, you're under arrest.
Whoa.
Piracy is illegal.
I'm gonna find it. You talk about something for a minute while I find this.
See, now here's the thing. You say that they're not going to stop Ninjago until they have another successful show. Here's the paradox we live in. They're not going to have another successful show until they stop Ninjago. Because okay, let's say I'm someone who's like super into Ninjago, which I am to an extent, but let's say like I'm caught up, current, all that. If I could watch Ninjago, why would I watch anything new? Anything else? Why would I ever branch out to anything else? If I'm a kid who has a limited income to spend on sets, why would I spend it on something new when Ninjago's right there? Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, the reason I know they're milking it for money now is because they're doing the legacy sets, which is just remaking old sets and re-releasing them for those who couldn't get them, which is good for people like me. But at the same time, it's like, okay, now you're just like able to cut your seasons in half, make the same amount of money.
You are officially out of ideas. You are literally re-releasing old content.
Yeah.
I found it.
It's like,
it is Car Park North. The song is Unbreakable, and they wrote it for Nexo Nights, and it's a bop. Thank you.
Dang. Alrighty then.
I think, Alexis, what was the Ninjago set that you wanted so bad but never got? Is that too specific? What was your favorite?
The Ninjago set I wanted that I never got was Ninjago City from the movie, from the Ninjago movie. It's like the biggest Ninjago set, which, by the way, they re-released that set this year or last year.
Pete,
no, it was this year because it was branded as like 10 years of Ninjago. Yeah, it did not come out that long ago. It came out in 2017. It's a 3-year-old set. It actually probably just retired, and they're remaking it again. With like completely different characters, different setup. It's like, it's ridiculous at this point. And I look at Ninjago sets when I walk into Target and I'm like, this is not what I remember. This is not the same Ninjago that I was watching and building and playing like 4 years ago.
And you can and it's just so sad. Like, so many shows do this, and it's just like the corporate like screws over creators and creations. You see it in The Office. Those last 2 seasons are awful. You see it in I don't think Community counts because I don't think Community
and
counts.
Not really Parks and Rec either. Parks and Rec ended kind of when it needed to.
I think Parks and Rec went on 1 season too long. You see it constantly, and it just sucks because it sours the taste of what was good. Like, Ninjago is such a good story, and it was such a good creation. And it sounds weird because, like, yeah, it's a kid's show. Whatever. Like, it was good, and the story was good, and I have so many fond memories from it that are just being, like, dismantled, like, picked apart one by one as they slowly try to get more money out of it. And it's just so
Would you say they're
depressing.
being...
Don't you
Would you say they're being
Don't you dare.
deconstructed?
God, no.
Got him. I had to slip that.
Had to do it to him.
Pun in there.
The Lego Ninjago set that I wanted so bad and did not get was the Lego Ninjago Epic Dragon Battle. It was
loser! I had that.
You
I had both of them. I had the old one and the re-release.
Oh my gosh. You had 2?
Yeah, I got the old one for Christmas. I got the old one for Christmas right before it retired, and then when they re-released it in 2018, I got it again.
You suck.
I also had the Temple of Air Jitsu, which is my second favorite Ninjago set, and I had the Ninjago movie Destiny's Bounty, which is my favorite Ninjago set. And both of them are at home, not here because I'm in college. But at home.
The Epic Dragon Battle came with a 4-headed dragon, a giant snake, and I believe it came with Jay, Sensei Wu, and Lloyd. And it was a big deal because that was the only set you could get Lloyd in for the longest time. And I remember at the time it was $120. And I wanted it so bad. I wrote out a financial plan on how I could get $120. Because when you're 7 years old, you can't just make $120. That was like big boy money at the time.
Now we can blink and make $120.
Yeah, I know, right? Now I can just say, create a podcast with Anchor, and boom, $120.
Boom, $120. Just
Anyone-
kidding. None of the ad funds here go towards Legos, I promise.
Wink. Is also anyone that has an Anchor podcast knows that it's a joke because you make about 2 cents from Anchor ads.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. I also had final thing about Ninjago because we need to move on. I had the Samurai X Lego set. I got it for Christmas. That was probably the coolest Lego set I've ever had. Was the Samurai X because
Okay,
it was like it was like that big, like it was huge, and then it had like a
I'll
cockpit
give you that one.
when Neo was Samurai X, but no one knew, and it was like a big reveal.
Whoa!
And then I got it for Christmas, and it was awesome. So
I don't know if you... Okay, last point. I don't know if you remember this, and I don't know if you ever had this problem. I specifically remember, as a kid, never having all of my ninjas having the same outfit. Like, I never had all of them matching. Because they would be like, yes, this version of Lloyd is only available in the $200 set, and then you can get everybody else except for Lloyd.
they do that on purpose.
In the $200 set. And I'm
they
like,
do that on purpose. I had like all the ZX versions but one because like they were so expensive. It was a whole thing. I could ramble for hours. I have, if you're watching on YouTube,
we could have done a whole podcast just on Ninjago.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see I have my Lego Harry Potter Hogwarts Express on the shelf back there, and then my Friends Central Perk, because that's what you buy when you're an adult and like Legos, and then my Lego City Toy Store corner on the shelf. So
you can't see it, but I have the Friends set up there, and I also have the 501st Battle Pack from Star Wars.
Yeah,
because that is what you buy when you're
and
an
then
adult.
it's all in the other room, but we have a million Legos, and
it's all in my attic at home, but I have a million Legos too.
Point. So we touched on it a second. What happened to those other Lego shows? Because there was Chima, there was Neko Knights, there was Nexo Knights, and there was Bionicle, and all this stuff. But like none of it ever got as big as Ninjago. Like, what were your favorite, more air quote underground Lego media?
Well, I don't want to touch Bionicle. Bionicle is a very, how do I put this lightly? You're a very fragile community. You know who you are. You're very touchy. Like, you think Ninjago fans are bad, you blink weird at Bionicle, and the Bionicle fans will, in fact, kill you. So, you gotta watch out for them. I don't want to touch Bionicle. I will say, the Netflix original show that they put out was okay. Okay at best. I know the Bionicle fans didn't like it, but that's it. Now, my favorite underground Ninjago show, Lego show was... Yeah, I have to say it was Chima. I think Chima was really underrated.
It was.
And not enough people talked about it.
The show and the sets was underrated. The sets were so cool.
And it was such a really cool concept, too. Although I guess it was just furries for kids.
What? No.
I'm not ashamed.
No.
I'm not ashamed of that take.
It was just kind of like... it was... Why?
Nope.
You
There's
see,
furries for kids.
Why was that a thing? Why was it such a big thing to do tribes? Like, it was like a world divided. You know, you have like Hunger Games and like Divergent. And so like in the peak of those, like in a dystopian split world, like Chima was a thing. And it was like, the worlds are split. The animals can't live in harmony. It's like, why not? Because they want the chi. It's like, what's chi? It's a blue power ball. You mean from Lego Star Wars? No, it's different.
But then there's red fireballs.
Oh, sorry. Do you remember
in the
third
season? There's red fireballs.
Do you remember the speeders?
Yes,
it was
where you can like
Beyblade,
stick the
but
ripcord in, and then you can like jerk it out and it'll go flying. I used to shoot them at my sister. Like she could only crawl, and I would like set him up, and then I would rip the ripcord and have it run into her intentionally.
That's
I was an
savage.
evil child. Okay.
You see, those were so cool because you could be like, zzz, and then they'd be like, phew, like they would fly. Those wheels would go at like 200 miles an hour, and you go zip, and it would go phew. It was awesome. No, I think Nexo Knights was, Nexo Knights was kind of slept on. I wasn't really super into it. I had my younger siblings were super into it, and it was really cool. What I saw of it was like actually really good. They had good characters, really good music, but my deepest memory that I have not been able to find a whole lot about was the Lego Monster Hunter series.
That was never a show. That was just. Like,
I don't know if it was a show. Like, I think it was just a theme. But like, I had like the hovercraft thing, and like was into all the sets, and then they got discontinued after like 3 sets, and I was like super excited, but cringe essentially.
Yeah, Nexo Knights was Lego's attempt to do like, we're gonna do Knights, but cool.
But it was like futuristic, but yeah.
Whoa, dude! Futuristic, let's go!
No one has ever done that before. Maybe that's why they're not as successful as Ninjago. They're not good. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of it to really speak. So, if we could kind of shift a little and talk about this for a second. What do you think is the best Lego game? Like the video games? Like, what was your favorites? What's your favorite, like... Oh, it's obviously Lego City Undercover. I know how much you love that game.
Oh, yeah, of course. Lego City Undercover is my favorite Lego game of all time. No, I'm going to tell you right now. Right now. The best Lego game
Wrong.
of all time. And I'm going to get some flack for this. You're already telling me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Is Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, is the best Lego game because you play through the Clone Wars, but you also have the ability to, like, take over enemy bases, like little zones, and then you can build your own vehicle things in there, and you can have vehicles airdropped into this massive battlefield. And if the Skywalker Saga does not bring back this feature, I ain't having it. But I'll tell you right now, you can, like, build little bases, and you can build, like, troop barracks to go fight all of the droids, and you can drop in, like, airdrop tanks. It felt like a real military game, but it was Legos, and it was Star Wars, and it was the Clone Wars. It's combining 3 of my favorite things into one, and it was for the Wii, and I have a really funny story about how my money got stolen. I will tell it in 30 seconds or less. I was, like, 10. I had a wallet. It was a Lightning McQueen wallet. It had $20 in it, which was enough to go get Lego Star Wars 3 from Toys R Us. My mom went to the car wash. The car wash employee saw the $20 in my wallet, stole it, ended up getting fired because we caught him, and I got my $20 back, but I still got to go get Lego Star Wars 3 from Toys R Us, and I played it for a solid 15 hours in the first weekend of having it. I beat the entire game, and then I went back to 100% it. There you go. That's my story in 30 seconds or less. Lego Star Wars 3 is the best video game. I need it to be ported to the Switch. They're like porting Lego Marvel Superheroes to the Switch, and why are they not porting any of the Lego Star Wars games? I know there's a new one, but now seems like the best time to port a Lego Star Wars game to the Switch. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's all.
The car wash? What?
Yeah, he was vacuuming out the trunk of the car.
Oh my gosh, that's
and just saw the wallet in there and stole it.
Do you want to know the actual best Lego game? And it's the best.
If it's Lego Harry Potter, you're wrong.
It's the best because it's the worst. Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4 is the worst Lego game ever made. Thus, it is the most fun because it is so glitched out. It is so unstable. It makes no sense. Thus, if you play it with another person, you are going to have the best time of your life because you get to make fun of that game so hard. It's so funny. And I don't know, I've 100%'d it twice. It's that much fun. I'd also like to say, no one talks about Lego The Hobbit or Lego Lord of the Rings. Those games slap. Amazing open world. Like, the lobbies they had were awesome. In The Hobbit, you could choose a vehicle to ride. You could literally pull out a horse and ride around Middle Earth. That was awesome. No one talks about that.
I will say, this console generation, we have not gotten enough Lego games.
Nope.
And I know there's some stuff going on with, like, TT Games, like they're up for being bought or something. And I'm assuming they're having some development issues. And
there's a ton of crap going on at Activision, so like it makes sense. Yeah. But
still not enough Lego games.
Not enough. And you mentioned the Marvel superheroes getting ported to Switch. Honestly, I had Marvel Superheroes on the Xbox 360. That game is so good. I actually recommend you buy it when it gets ported to the Switch, because
It's such an odd game to
the
port,
Lego
though.
Avengers game I did not like. It was too much. There was too many collectibles, and it like wasn't fun. Like they used the voice acting from the movies, and so it felt very, very hollow. But Lego Marvel Superhero, you get to ride around New York City. Like they have a full accurate model of New York City that you get to like perform tasks around. Let alone the levels are awesome, and you have a million characters, and it's a super fun game to try to 100%. I actually like, that's one of my favorites. I highly recommend it. So don't disregard the Lego Marvel Superheroes, because it is a little bit weird of a title, but like honestly Marvel's kind of in its peak right now, so I'm not surprised. So give it a shot, but don't just instantly disregard it. Give it a shot.
Fair. Speaking of Lego games coming to the Switch, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga has been up in the air for a long time.
Yeah.
It got revealed back in 2019 at E3, and then we didn't hear about it again until Gamescom last year. We got another trailer that said 2020, or it said 2021, and we haven't gotten anything since then. I've heard a couple developers have left the project, so it's kind of in hot water right now, but Gamescom has already happened. I don't know, it happens 5 days from when we're recording this, and there's supposed to be new Lego Star Wars news. So we'll see. Maybe by the time this airs, we know that the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga is coming this year. But with all that being said, I want to ask you, do you think the Skywalker Saga is coming this year? Because it is August, and I feel like for a game of that size, if it were coming out this year, they should be marketing, accepting... they are accepting pre-orders, but it doesn't have like an official date yet.
Yeah.
But they should be marketing, like, all this other stuff, and we should know that it's coming out this year. And the fact that Lego Marvel Superheroes is getting ported to Switch feels like they're not going to put two Lego games out on Switch at, like, a very close proximity together. So what do you think?
I think we will get it next year. I think it'll be a early to mid 2022 release, just because it feels too late this year. If it does come this year, it'll be a holiday release, because that's really the only like peak time you can put a game like that, because it could be a huge holiday hit. Like it's gonna sell really well. My biggest concern is the quality. Like if it comes out this year and they've like run through 12 different developers who have come and left on the project, like is it going to be like an inconsistent mess? I don't know. Are we going to have essentially the sequel trilogy of Lego games? Ironic.
Ooh, no,
I know.
Don't put it like that.
Ironic.
I mean, the sequel trilogy is going to be in it, but don't put it like that.
It's ironic, don't you think? Isn't it ironic?
Called cruel irony.
Don't you think? It's like rain
Independence
on your wedding day. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I
That's
feel like the Skywalker Saga was, which it's not anymore, but it was in the same kind of space as Breath of the Wild 2, where it was like, if it's coming this year, we should already know XYZ about it. But it feels like there's still that tiny little chance that it could.
Yeah.
But then as soon as they announced Lego Marvel Superheroes in October, I was like, yep, nope, Lego Star Wars is early next year.
Because
at the soonest. Like, it's not this year at all.
It's kind of like
it definitely got pushed.
It's kind of like blah blah blah. It's gonna be like Nintendo with their Mario stuff, where they're like, we can't release all this Mario stuff and then tell you about Zelda, then you won't buy the Mario stuff. It's like, oh,
exactly.
This sucks.
Which is why
this sucks.
Which I know Lego games don't go through the same kind of like, because like Nintendo would have been like, oh, if we show you Breath of the Wild 2, you won't buy Skyward Sword, which is definitely true. But that worked in their favor because of what they showed. Now, I don't think TT Games has to worry about, like, if we show you the Skywalker Saga, you're not going to buy Marvel Superheroes, because one, those are two different franchises. And two, I think people who like Lego games will buy them regardless of whether or not the new one is coming out.
No, I agree.
Like, parents who want to entertain their kids are going to buy it either way. It doesn't matter.
which kind of stinks because like they're really good games. They deserve a big release, but like they're just kind of shoved into the, hey, Johnny, you're driving me crazy. Go play Lego Star Wars. So, I don't know. I have low hope for it releasing this year, but I'll probably buy it. It looks like a lot of fun. They rumored,
it's supposed to have online multiplayer, so
question mark. They rumored to have a setting where to have the old dialogue from the old Lego games, where they'd just be like, like that sounds awesome to me. So, final point.
So to refute our, here I got a different final point. I'm changing up the notes.
Please.
So if you could port one Lego game to the Switch, what would it be? And I'm assuming it's going to be what you think is the best one. But actually, no, it can't be your best one because Lego Harry Potter is already on the Switch.
Yeah, I'm going to say, well, even if it wasn't, I'd say no, because that really is an Xbox 360 gem, because the Switch is too stable to play it on.
Darn the Switch for running good.
Darn the Switch running good. I knew I shouldn't have bought the Ethernet port. Let's see. Lego Indiana Jones is so much fun. Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. I'm trying to see if I can see my games on the shelf out there. The Complete Saga. Oh, you know what's an underrated Lego game? Is Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. That is...
I have half these games on Xbox Live.
No, same.
Like, these are all the like free Xbox Live games that I've accrued over time. I don't own any of them, so now that I don't have Xbox Live, I don't have them. But I did.
I would say Pirates of the Caribbean. Honestly, if I know they're already doing it, Marvel Superheroes. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Low-key, I want them to port Lego Indiana Jones 2.
Yeah.
And I know that Indiana Jones is kind of hard to touch because they do a lot of touchy things with their bad guys. So it could be a little hard to do anything future with Indiana Jones.
But they're also making a new movie. Like, it's like...
Right.
You could say, oh, it's a bad climate for Indiana Jones. They're making another movie. Like, what...
Yeah, they're going to do something different. So...
let's hope.
Port Lego Indiana Jones. I would say, honestly, what I think would be cool is if they ported the Complete Saga to Switch in early 2022, and then either in the summer or the fall they put out the Skywalker Saga.
That's a good idea.
Just so that they can both be on Switch. That would be great. I'd buy both of them.
Yeah.
Although I feel like the Skywalker Saga is going to end up just being all of the Star Wars games mixed together. Because apparently, like, Rogue One is supposed to be in there, Solo is supposed to be in there, Mandalorian.
Is this the Battlefront 2 of Lego games?
Please?
Well,
just without microtransactions.
No, that's my concern. Is they're gonna push to pump it out when it's not done, just like Battlefront 2, and then have to like add updates for 3 years to make it playable.
Well, I feel like that's the reason we haven't gotten anything on it. Kind of like Breath of the Wild 2, is they don't want to rush it out because they've advertised it as this is the most ambitious, the biggest, greatest Star Wars game we've ever put together. So I think they're trying to take their time with it.
Yeah.
I don't know how TT Games being up for purchase affects that. Although Microsoft, if you want to add another studio to your belt of like 30,000 studios that you've bought in the last year, buy TT Games and make us more Lego games, please. Like a Halo Lego game, please.
That'd be pretty dope.
I'd be down.
I get I don't know. I have Xbox Live, so like if you want to put all of them on there.
All of them on Game Pass? Well, I feel like most of the Lego games are on Game Pass anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I already own them, so like I don't need... Never mind, I don't need them on Game Pass. What we need is a Nintendo version of Game Pass. That's another conversation, though.
No, we need Game Pass on Switch.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Right there.
We're done!
So, with that being said, we're done! Look at us. We finished an entire episode.
Long. But we'll sing just one more song.
No. Stop.
Enough.
We're done.
Cut the cameras.
So with that being said, thank you for listening today. If you want to stay up to date with the podcast, you can follow us on Instagram at The Nerdiest Podcast or tweet us at Nerdiest Podcast. If you have feedback or a question you want to submit, you can do so through the Contact Us page on our website.
And if you enjoy what we do here, consider giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere else you listen. You can also share the podcast with a friend, as word of mouth is the best way for us to grow.
Again, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in the next episode. Peace out.
Bye!